A church divided. We sat down with an openly gay Methodist minister one day after his church voted to uphold, even toughen, its stance against homosexuality. 24-Hour News 8 Susan Samples reports on the vote that's carved a deep divide in one of our nation's largest churches. Susan?
Marley, Mark Thompson, former pastor at Faith United Methodist in Grand Rapids, was in St. Louis for the special conference. He planned to stay for yesterday's vote, but he left Monday because he couldn't bear to witness it.
It got to the point where the pain was too great for me, and I had to leave.
For Pastor Mark Thompson, it was too personal. The church he serves voted not to serve him.
On the way home, I listened to radio so that I could be able to focus on something else, to be able to make the trip home safely.
Thompson, pastor at Lansing Central United Methodist Church, is openly gay but celibate, which allows him to serve even under the newly strengthened ban. Delegates at the special conference voted in St. Louis yesterday to uphold Methodist Church rules that ban same-sex marriage and stop practicing LGBT people from serving as clergy. What that says to Thompson:
We're not concerned about your pain. Hurts tremendously.
Thompson protested by greeting delegates sign in hand.
If he voted in a way that put restrictions on me, I hope that my face reminded him that he was voting against someone who was kind to him.
It's a world issue.
John Ross, a retired pastor in Grand Rapids, pointed out that 2/3 of American delegates voted against the ban.
40% of the people who voted in St. Louis this week are from other countries, and they're very conservative. Some of them come from countries where if you say you're gay, you could be executed.
But the Michigan head of a conservative Methodist faction called the Wesleyan Covenant Association told me the ban promotes biblical authority and the lordship of Christ over the church. He said the vote came after intense research and dialogue, and that the special conference cost $3.5 million and brought together the best and the brightest from around the world. Even so, Ross plans to defy them and perform same-sex marriages despite the ban.
I could lose my credentials. I'm glad to risk it because God is calling me to serve all people.
Thompson will not perform same-sex ceremonies and continue his celibacy despite the pain he says it causes him.
And this is so divisive. It's ruining friendships, ruining churches.
The next chance to reverse that vote, the 2020 General Conference, Thompson believes that the UMC will find consensus there, hopefully, he says, by allowing each local church to make its own decision regarding these issues. So again, Marley, in 2020, they have another conference for another shot at building consensus on this.
Right. And Susan, did you get an idea of just how West Michigan Methodists as a whole feel about this?
Well, I really tried. I tried to get Methodists from the other side of this who are in favor of the ban and a strict interpretation of the Bible. One person told me that while the leadership is generally in favor of the more inclusive, getting rid of the ban, folks in the pews, there's a really mixed bag. And there is a significant minority, even in the leadership and in churches in West Michigan, that believe in that strict interpretation.
Right.
So, but it was difficult to get people to come out and say that. Right. Because Methodists generally want to be really inclusive and welcoming.
Okay, Susan Samples, thank you for that report.